Morning, guys. 3 top tips that we can lean into to consistently drop body fat and get in shape. Now, here I am. Let me introduce the amazing Nelson and the calories in, calories out brigade, right? So the whack, whack, whack. Everyone that thinks or says that getting in shape is easy, right? Let's do a bit of myth busting, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. I actually seen another coach say that it's not rocket science. It's a little bit more complicated than that. We can guarantee that if you know you put someone on a rocket, they'll get to the moon. We can almost guarantee that if someone aims to improve their health and lifestyle, that they'll go back to where they came within 18 months. So maybe it's a little bit more complicated than that. Anyway, 3 simple, effective, actionable top tips that you can lean into starting straight away. Number 1, we do want certainty. We do want, we can be easily distracted, and we can be busy, and we can have different values. And if we try lots of things in the past, we can have sometimes beliefs that don't serve us, right? Because it's not happened yet. So our logical brain fails to see how this would be any different, even if it is. Fascinating stuff. So, habits. They're going to be an anchor point of certainty, and you could call them daily non-negotiables. It's got a slight tinge of aggression and ego in the phrase. Being a man, quite like that. I'm like, yeah, you know, daily non-negotiables, absolutely, boundaries, action points, yeah. I'm the type of guy that wants to watch Rocky but really likes The Lion King. Habits are powerful. Habits are powerful, and we can lean into them. So that's something that I encourage you to look at. Within said habits, there are rocks, pebbles, and sand. Okay, so becoming a black belt in the basics is always the main focus. The things that don't actually matter, but by sticking to them, they make a big difference, right? And I can go into the specifics another time. My second top tip would be to change, tweak actually. I'll use a different word, tweak your environment. Just speak to busy guys, CEOs, not stupid people, like driven, determined, committed, hardworking, sometimes to their detriment. Kind of, who does that remind you of? And, it's like they're the same person that's buying the food that they then don't want to eat. So, looking at what's being purchased, got lots of takeaway menus in your drawer, is a little bit of temptation. A good, silly, slightly inappropriate example would be, imagine I go home and there's 10 scantily clad women, getting married in 15 weeks. Might not be the best idea, right? Something like that. Probably something that you remember because it's highly inappropriate, but nonetheless, let's move on. So that's tweaking the environment. One moment. So the third one, oh gee whiz. The third one, I'm going to change the third one based upon what I've just witnessed this morning. Because actually I've got one that's more valuable. It's our well-being. It's our well-being. It's our day-to-day lifestyle balance. It's how we feel. Because unless we look at that as well alongside, then any change is going to be careful not to be too accusatory, but it's highly likely that we'll go back because we've not looked at what we can stick to and what makes us happy. That can be something like your exercise. Like, I love to lift weights, like not too heavy, but I do enjoy that. So yeah, I wouldn't overlook the overall well-being element. So that's your third one. So just to recap, just to finish, habits, tweaking the environment, and taking into account the well-being. Quite a broad conversation, but hopefully they serve you, and I'll speak to you next week.